Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live.
Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? Welcome to the Company of Prophets. I am sorry that I'm late today. I was not watching the clock, and when I looked at the clock, it said 10:11. So rather than panic and come on and be all exhausted, I figured I'd just put it for 10:30. So how are you all doing today? I hope you're having a good weekend, right? Because that's important. If you're not having a good weekend, turn it around to having a good weekend. Okay? Turn it around. Remember, only you can decide that this is going to be a good experience. And if something is not a good experience, go in your bedroom, go out. Except for those that are in a horrible snowstorm. How are you guys doing, East Coasters? Some of y'all are in a wicked, wicked snowstorm. I would hope it would have passed. And so by today, you guys can see the sun. Oh my goodness. Aww. So proud of you. There is a masquerade ball going on tonight, as you guys know, because I have been talking about it for ages. I really need to go and travel there. But there's a masquerade ball tonight. So I just asked the person who is spearheading this, how is she doing? Because it's tonight. And she said she got 240 tickets sold. I think that is exciting. I'm so proud of her. Yay. Oh my God. So I put, yes, so proud of you. I didn't complete the words. Oh, I'm so proud of her. Look at her. All right. So if anybody still doesn't know about the masquerade ball, get dressed up. Get on a pretty dress. Go show it off. Tickets are at Eventbrite, and the code is EMB. Wait, is it EMB? It's at Eventbrite, and yes, it's EMB 2024. Okay. So I'm so proud of her. All right, let's immediately get into the Company of Prophets. And I remember last week I was reading about a little girl. I think it's a girl, Baraka Oni. I'm going to read it over again because then Baraka Oni continues on. Okay, so I'm going to read it from page 15. And the storyline is Baraka Oni. When I was a little girl, I used to get death all the time. I asked God to take the gift from me. I never wanted to be a medium this lifetime. I never wanted to claim that energy, but that is the kind of energy that I initially drew. When I would be on a Greyhound bus going to visit my father, especially on the turnpike, I would see people where there had been accidents. I see them walking and searching and looking. It was heavy. I realized after a while they weren't real. No one could see them but me. Delia's Gray's first awareness of her abilities came when she was around 5. Until adulthood, she says, her powers were not productively used. Oh, I gotta highlight some of these things because give me 1 second. Not using your powers productively is part of mental illness. So let me just highlight that. Because sometimes when I finish the stories, I forget where to go back. So let me just highlight productively used. There you go. Encouraged to talk freely about her spiritual perceptions and prophetic dreams, the child enjoyed a secure home life. As the seventh female child in the family line to be psychic. Oh, interesting. That's really good when you have a family line of psychics, and so nobody fears the energy. In fact, you expect the energy to come through the children. So I'm loving that she had that big of a experience with her family. Hold on a second, guys. My neighbor's coming. Hi, Miss Marion. Come on in. Come on in. How are you? Are you not taking your pills? Oh, good. Don't bend down for stuff that falls. How are you doing? No, 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 no. I haven't left my house yet, so I just left my scarf on. Yeah. So you're definitely not going this afternoon. Richard? Oh, you told Adrian to take the ticket. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Oh, it was 52 cents. It's actually. Who knows? Yeah. I yeah. What time are you going out? I could go out with you at around 12, 12-ish. No.
And I told you about it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I got that spotless.
Good.
Guess how I got it that way.
With peroxide.
Huh?
With peroxide?
What does it say?
Peroxide.
Peroxide. The soda, baking soda.
Yeah. That's. Oh, that's peroxide. Bacon. I meant to say baking soda. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I meant to say baking soda.
And last night, I always put on, it was the last of the tea.
Mm-hmm.
And then I add water to it
Uh-huh.
and just put a cover on it and turn it off the burner.
Right.
Well, I was still waiting to take my night pill. And I thought, oh no, I said I turned it off, I put a cover on it and balanced the heat with ha. About an hour later, I
You
smelled
burnt it
something.
again. Oh,
And the tea bags
stuck.
burned into the pot
Yeah.
black.
Mm.
So I thought, don't worry. Got out the baking soda, covered the bottom,
Again. Uh-huh.
and it just lifted up everything.
Good.
Can't keep doing this.
Yeah. Please be careful. I didn't smell anything last night,
Well,
though.
I smelled something. I said, no. I thought of it. I said, no, I remember turning it off.
Oh, no.
That's not true. There's something on the floor.
Oh, that's I put your thing on the banister, but it slipped off. I gotta get John to hang it up for me, but it's safe there.
Oh,
I don't want to
can't
break
even
it, so
see
it's so
it.
safe there.
Oh, I just noticed something.
Yeah.
Did you do your laundry yet?
I was gonna do it today before I left, but if I go out with you, then I'll just do it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. I don't.
It's right there.
Oh,
Oh, good, good, good.
no. In
I'll
fact,
just do it tomorrow.
my stuff just dried,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't put it away because the white pants and the dress like this,
Mm-hmm.
it's just in the hems.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I walked out.
Well, I'm excited to wash with baking soda, so.
Oh, and I figured out how much in one load. You don't use a lot.
Okay.
But it's just barely under a cup.
Okay.
And if you have
I have a measuring cup.
Yeah, but I want you to show the bright colored ones that I had.
Uh-huh.
And like this deep for a cup.
Yeah.
But you put in about that, not a half cup, but a little more than a half cup.
Okay, I'll figure it out.
So it's just that I do it guessing. Well, you want the rinse to clean it all out.
Yes.
But anyway.
So,
Okay,
do you want me to meet you at 12?
What time? I don't know what time it is. 49, 11. Yeah. I'm just going out to get tea, and all I can think of at night is donuts, the stuffing.
I don't even think I could check to see if they're open today.
I don't know if they would be because nothing else would be opened around.
It's so weird. That's right, because the restaurant. Let's wait till tomorrow, and then if you want to get something from the restaurant, then we can both get the salad from the restaurant. I would be down for that.
Yeah.
And some donuts.
I'm glad I didn't have any more. I would have eaten them.
I'm telling you, listen, this is the best donut since New York City.
Well, they had a place along there at one time, and that's when I had the feed shop.
Oh,
And I would stop by going to the post office out that way
right.
and buy a tray.
Yes,
This.
for your people at work.
At the bank. No,
At the bank? You would
Not
buy
at the
them
bank,
donuts at the
no.
bank?
at the post office. And when they saw me coming in once a week, So every
You
other
would
week,
buy the post office
I
employees donuts?
brought in a tray of mixed
Oh
donuts.
my God, you are
Everybody.
so much like me. I am so generous that way.
Huh?
I said, you're so much like me. I'm so generous that way. I would do that.
It's
I don't know if I would do it
to
for
see it.
post office people, but
Well, the post office did a lot of business with me and shipping and all of this stuff. So
oh, got it.
that did all my work out that way.
Yeah. I
And
understand.
I knew everybody in there.
Mm,
And I'm telling you, to hear the smiles and oohs and ahs and the ones would
mm.
come peeking out the work in the back that you don't see. And it was like a lift for myself in the morning too, to see
For
everybody.
yourself and them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what giving does, though, right? Giving back is what giving does when you
They
give.
baked them out there. They had, that's where they were being made, actually.
Hmm.
And it was a blessing. Okay. I'm going to do my hair tomorrow before I get crippled again.
So 12, 12:30, what do you want to do? 12 o'clock. Okay.
Uh, I'm probably, I just have a few things on my list.
Okay.
And it's to get out of there.
Yes. And what time does the play start? 2, 3?
4.
Oh, 4. Oh, yeah, we got plenty of time. Okay, good.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to take up your time.
Oh, no, I know.
Ready
Don't
to
worry.
go.
Yeah. I'll see you at 12.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Oh, I still smell a curry. I've got to have more curry. I can still smell it.
It could be my house.
No,
No?
it's just the curry that lasts.
Okay, I'll see you in an hour. Peace and blessings, sweet Carmel. I have to tell you, I I'm sorry. I just have to talk to my neighbor. It is what it is. I know they don't necessarily come in though. They know better. All right. All right, let's go back to the paragraph where it says Delia Gray. Delia Gray's first awareness of her abilities came when she was around 5 years old. Until adulthood, she says her powers were not productively used, which is weird when she comes from a family of psychics. Encouraged to talk freely about her spiritual perceptions and prophetic dreams, the child enjoyed a secure home life. As the seventh female child, I wonder why that's important in her family line to be a psychic. Excuse me. She felt most harmoniously situated. Though she protested over her perception of death and her view of afterlife states being the dominating quality and emergence of abilities, Delia reminds us there was also a lighter side. I had a dream that my mother surprised me at Christmas with a suit I really wanted. She didn't put it under the tree until later on Christmas Day. And that happened in reality. In a dream, I wore the suit to school and the string was hanging down. I pulled the string and the suit fell apart. I totally forgot about the dream and wore the outfit to school. I was sitting in English class, I'll never forget it. I pulled the thread and the suit fell apart. I screamed. Oh God, just like in my dream. It was her gifted daughter, Bakara Oni. Delia Greer now lives in Shaker Heights, Ohio. So just want to go back to Delia Greer, where she says, until adulthood, she says her powers were not productively used. I don't know what she means by that when she then goes on to say that she was raised in a family of psychics. So there are many times when some of us are having experiences. We hear voices, we see things, and there's nobody to help us with the fact that you're gifted, not crazy. And so initially you tell someone, right? I hear voices. And then your parents teach you not to communicate. It turns out it's against their religion, or they're afraid that you really are going crazy. Um, but it doesn't go away. The experiences don't go away. And so you carry these experiences into your teenage life, into your adult life, and you just don't know what to do with it. I just wanted to point out a lot of people have this experience. You're not crazy, you're gifted. It's really important from this point on that you deal with your gifts. I have a little girl now who's going through this, and she keeps asking why. And I don't have the whys for her. So I'm trying to get her to settle in her skin and accept where she's at with her gift. Unfortunately, she seems to be drawn to the negative side of the gift. So she gets what she considers a lot of evil stuff coming through. The other thing I want to point out is that commercially, we believe that the other side, if it's good, it's pretty. If it's bad, it's ugly. I want you all to respect that if it's good, it's ugly. So you might be fearful of something that's ugly, but is there to protect you as your ally. So I teach everyone to say, if you are not of God, get out. If you learn to say that, anything that is not of God, not resonating with God's energy, cannot stay. All right. Also, the little girl reminded me, because she said she's been doing that and it has been helping. So I know what I'm doing is helping. But she reminded me that one day she said that. She was in a dream, and one day she said that, and they teased her. And they were like, oh, you're calling on God. It was so funny. And I said to her, repeat it more strongly and let them know, yes, I'm calling on God. Get out. You have to be of God. Get out. And she's growing in her powers. She doesn't know it because she keeps fluctuating between accepting her gift and creating the power that she has and going back to asking, why me? Why do they come to me? I mean, the questions that she asked me after the reading. Oh no, sweetie. Hold on. Somebody's asking for a reading. She's like, can we do it now? I go, no. Um, After we did the reading, she goes, where is she? That she's suffering from like pain that we all suffer from. And she goes, is this voodoo? You know, I went to see an astrologer and they tried to milk her out of so much money. And I said to her, no, you gotta stop seeing people to take the gift away. You have to learn to accept the gift. So I want to be here for those people to understand their amazing gifts. I want them to be proud of it. I want them to use it. I want them to understand that you're the special ones. And when the world falls apart, your gifts are going to be stronger. So we need to learn how to use these amazing gifts right now. Okay, now we're going on to the daughter. With her gifted daughter, Baraka Oni, Delia Greer now lives in Shaker Heights, Ohio. The mother and the grandmother of Baraka Oni Lewis sat in numbered silence. They had just learned that the child's great aunt, Gladys, had been rushed to the hospital and was in intensive care. Neither adult noticed the little girl entering the room, but soon both were blown from solitude by the authority in the child's voice. That lady is so tired. She is so tired. Taken aback by the child's mother, Delia asked, "What lady?" Baraka only said, Bakara, I'm sorry, Bakara. Bakara only said she meant the lady in the hospital. She told her mother they were cutting a hole in the lady right there, and the little girl pointed to her throat. "Mommy, she breathes like this." The 2-year-old then did an imitation of a shrilled, pitched, labored breathing. Laying down on the floor, she built to shriller tones and then became softer and less audible. Despite Delia Gray's abundant personal and professional familiarity with psychic phenomena, she could not control the panic she felt in watching her own daughter. As Delia considered giving in to an impulse to leave the room, Bakara commanded, "Mommy, stand still, don't move, listen to me." The child began singing a nursery rhyme, a favorite of Aunt Gladys. She stopped singing suddenly. She said, "Don't you see her flying up in the sky?" The family learned that their relative died at the approximate time that Bakara dramatized her ordeal, and that as part of the emergency treatment, the woman had undergone a tracheotomy. In early childhood, Bakara's talent was evident to view into and be inside spaces at a distance from her body. Her mother recalls one example of many, a time when they passed a house which her child remarked she had been in before and that she knew what the house looked like. She described a room with a lot of people sitting around a table drinking and playing cards. None of this was apparent from the closed up exterior. However, on her way back home, Delia saw the exact scene described by Bakara through a door which had been opened. During the same period before her 6th birthday, Bakara had a clear memory of her brief past life, the details of which she shared unaltered with her mother many times. She named her brothers and sisters back then and described her toys. It had been a tragedy, a fire. Since infancy, Bakar had often been a calming influence on her mother during stressful times. While in the child's presence, the parent feels her worries diminishing. Delia perceives her daughter, now in middle childhood, as being less free. There are reduced instances of astral travel and diminishing evidence of the spontaneous side of her gifts. but her ability to predict remains unchanged. She often informs of events. There has been a trade, a surrendering of some psychic spontaneity and drama for deeper insights of a spiritual nature. All right. I love that these stories just kind of end. Just when you're getting into it, it just kind of goes. And she lives in Shaker Heights, Ohio. Oh my goodness. The next story is Augusta. I don't have anything to add to Bakar uh, gifts. I think it was self explanatory. I do want to add, though, that you can have several gifts, like astral travel, like I used to have, and uh, diminish that gift get diminished. My last astral travel, which was the worst, I don't sit by, I don't put my bed by windows anymore. Hi, Black Coffee. I don't put my bed by windows anymore. Um, Meaning up against the window. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys, but literally a window and your bed is by the window. There could be a window in the bedroom, but I really need to, for the most part, close off the windows with my curtains. Maybe just leaving a little bit open for some light to get in. But I was grown. I might have been 50 ish. And I was in a studio apartment. And I I don't know how I put my bed by the window. It was pretty though. It was a day bed. It was so pretty. And I put it by the window. But by putting it by the window, I would astro travel. Hi, Robin. Hi. I would astro travel. And so the last time I astro traveled, one I discovered you don't get sleep when you're astro traveling. Like it's awful. You are exhausted for your human experience, like work. But the last time I astral traveled, I couldn't get back in my body, and I was too old for this shit. I got in, but not without panicking. I mean, I could feel the panic. Um, and so, oh, that was me, sweetie. I seen a video of you in Nickelodeon interview, and my spirit left my body. That's interesting. Or she looks just like you. No, it is me. I am in a Nickelodeon documentary that's coming out on uh, March 17th. I believe you. Not on purpose. Every once in a while, um, I forget where I left off. So, what page is Juliet Gatlin's then? What page is that? It doesn't help that you give me. Oh, I marked it off. I couldn't understand what these X's were. I thought it was in a book. Okay, I'll jump to Juliet Gatlin. Thank you, sweetie. Let me just see something. Oh, hold on, guys. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Bottom of 19. Thank you, sweetie. I left my body because you're always so accurate in tarot. I would have never thought you would have been in that business. I wasn't. My son was in the business. Lord, bless your soul. I'm glad we have you today to give us guidance. We love you. Oh, thank you, Robbie. No, I was not in the business. My son was in the business. But do I have to tell you, on many auditions, they would ask me to audition for the mommy role. On many, it's so weird. And I always told them, no, I'm here for my son. I didn't want to step in front of him, which I'm so glad I didn't. Now it makes so much sense. Because if I had become busy in the business and he was busy in the business, I would have missed a lot of details to protect him. So good for me for listening to me. I go to an audition with him, and then the directors or producers would come out, call for my son, look at me, and go, "We need a mother. Would you like to audition as well?" And I would always say no. I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet of you. No, thank you." Ah, thank you, Robbie. Thank you so much. All right, June Juliet Gatlin. Thank you, Angela. Starting on page 19 at the bottom, starting with the full moon phase, 6-year-old June Juliet Gatlin slept continuously 3 or 4 days. Her worried parents, in an effort to break the sleep, forced her eyes open. But everything she saw in this state was in double image. And when she was stood up, her legs collapsed under her. Interesting. Undisturbed by the body's afflictions, June, the spiritual being, viewed the scene from a distance. From the ceiling, she looked down at her body, aware of her external evolution without it. While in the hospital, with her physical self undergoing brain scans and a series of tests, June willed herself spiritually. She willed herself spiritually about in astral travel. Even before she was 3, she knew she lived in two worlds of spirit and of flesh. Flesh meaning or human, spirit meaning the astral soul travel. By 6 years old, spiritual activity was increasing and would continue intensifying through her 14th year. During one hospitalization, a staff doctor following the case remarked to June's parents that her state was well known in his native West Indies, where children with similar trance like symptoms were called moon children. Oh, I never heard of that. Spirit intelligence, whom she calls energies, came to teach her. Early this lifetime, guiding her to experiences needed to expedite her involvement in existence as a being. Wandering through the aisles of libraries, she was guided to books crucial to her spiritual unfoldment, which she identified by intuitive touch. Past lives opened up, especially those spent in India. Untrained in India's religious practices, she spontaneously, at 13, assumed advanced meditative yoga positions. Later, when led to books on yoga, the familiarity of the knowledge she attained in those lives long ago was integrated knowingly into her present life. Everybody lives in Ohio. One of 9 children, June was born in Akron, Ohio, to devoted parents who provided their children with a comfortable and economically secure life. With her peers, she was confident and a natural leader, a nonconformist who believed in challenging authority and in testing the validity of rules at school and at church. June was born with the gifts of prophecy and healing. Her childhood church, Church of God in Christ, co founded by her grandfather, was the place where these early talents were affirmed. Members of the congregation, aware of June's healing presence, would crowd around her seeking help. Unfamiliar with ways to handle the denseness of negative psychic energy generated by the crowds, June unknowingly absorbed that energy and fainted. Got it. Her parents then took measures to protect their daughter from detrimental public exposure. Church members would line up to touch her and speak with her. They would testify to the physical, emotional, and spiritual benefits they received through June's contact with them. By age 9, June discloses she was already aware of her responsibilities and purpose for this life to assist other African Americans in knowing spirituality and knowing spiritually who they are. She explains that African Americans have limited themselves by allowing others to dictate to them instead of following their own direction and using their own resources. That is so true. We as a culture, we have missed out on so much amazing spirituality. It's not necessarily our fault, but at least in the Spanish communities, they would do things their master says and then privately do their own culture. But in the black community, we would annihilate if we brought up any African belief systems, even if we didn't know they were African. Because, man, Massa was so afraid of our gifts. She explains that African Americans have limited themselves by allowing others to dictate to them instead of following their own directions and using their own resources. I am here, she declares, to awaken Black people, to shock them out of inertia, out of accepting and not questioning. Hmm. Remember, I said that with one of my girls? I was like, she keeps asking why instead of just walking into a space of I am. I am gifted. Now, how she develops the gifts matters on her not asking the whys anymore. All right. I love that young lady. I love that, June. So these stories just end flat. There's no real walking into a space where there's even a healthy dialogue. The stories just end. They begin, they give you a little bit of background, and then ends. It is what it is. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Joyce. The next story, let me see if I can get the name first. The next story, I guess, is Estelle. The African American community in the small South Carolina town in the late 20s and early 30s had, for all intents purposes, put the child up for trial, convinced she was a witch. Her presence and behavior instilled fear and hostility in many Bennettsville residents, as they did in her stepsisters and stepbrothers. The community trial was called off when she triumphantly marched about with the Bible and a cross, both of which the residents finally agreed no witch would dare carry. That's hilarious. To reduce her otherworldly awareness when she was 5, Estelle's parents took her to a root doctor. Jesus Christ, the treatment failed to work. It's supposed to fail. She continued boldly and assertively to foretell and to experience in ways that confounded those around her. However, having psychic awareness herself, Estelle's father understood his daughter, though he was unable to protect her from his wife's severe beatings and the community's ridicule. Remember, we just talked about that? Like, we get, like, they want to beat the gift out of you. Oh my God, I hate that. My mama never did that because I didn't tell her. I already knew better not to tell her. When she realized I had a gift, I was in my own apartment. I already knew better not to tell her. She was crazy. Bless her soul, but she was crazy. And she had herself an extremely strong gift. Her daddy, he encouraged her to use her gifts, saying she had a mission from God. Seeing death upon her only ally. Tumultuously, Estelle queried him, Daddy, are you going to die and come back to scare me? 3 weeks after assuring his 12-year-old that he had no such intentions, her father died. Damn. The girl's stepmother, who overheard their talk, predictably blamed the child for his death. I want to talk about that too. Like many children touched by wonderment, she innocently shared with others what she felt and saw. The sensation of being in the body of a bird. That's amazing. She had seen perched in a tree, seeing the world through its eyes, the tree talking to her. Yes. Angels singing. Yes. Sometimes she would leave her body to travel, cutting loose from feeling unwanted. At the opening of church services, she knew already which ones among the congregation would be saved that day, especially at night. I like that. Estelle would see ghosts wandering the countryside. Some would approach to attack her. Remember, we talked about that. Some are evil, not all evil, some are bad, some are evil, yada yada. But she called out to God. Remember, I said that. And like puffs of smoke, the malevolent spirits vanished. Very important to call out to God, like so important. But I just wanted to go back to yes, yes. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk about hoodoo, and I do know of the Garifuna people. So proud of them. So proud. But that is a section that most of us don't come from. Most of us come from people that were scared to use their gifts. But I'm so proud of them. Um, I'm going to go back to June's experience and a little bit of Estelle's. So there's a part in June's experience where she was helping to heal people. But in the energy of helping to heal people, she would actually take on energy. And that's a little harder to stop, right? I have learned that if I heal, I kind of like have to take it off myself and brush it to the ground, right? Give it to the earth. Like brush my arms to the ground, brush my chest to the ground, like get somebody's sickness off of me. And you don't get sick, but you can get energetically depleted when you're healing people. I don't heal. My gift is healing, meaning I can lay hands. I don't heal. I got a vision that if I went into that practice, I would never leave my house, ever. And I saw a line of people outside of my house. And now that I'm older, I recognize how selfish people can be. And it's not their fault. They have no idea how selfish they are. But I knew as a kid that if I invested in that form of healing modality of laying hands, I would never have a life in this life. So, what I do instead is that I hear people. And if I can, I'll lay my hand on them. Usually their shoulder, usually their elbow. It doesn't take much to heal people. And I say to God, always talking to God, never owning everything on myself. I say to God, pass through what I have to offer onto them. If it's good and correct, please heal her. The other thing that I do is children constantly want to touch me, constantly. So I will offer them my shoulder, my arm, right? I never touch the child, right? I don't offer my hand to them. So I get so close to the mom and the baby because the baby's like trying to jump out the mom's hands. And I give them my shoulder. And I was like, oh, look at you. And then quietly I say, take what you need. Take what you need to heal, sweetie. And I say it inside, but the baby knows. All right. And then I used to get mom say, not anymore. I guess because the world is just changing. But I used to get mom say, she doesn't talk to anybody. And I'd be like, oh, I know. Baby loves me. But I always see it differently. I think babies reach out to me because they need something from me. Oh, I love that. I saw Garifuna when I went to Honduras like 20 years ago. All the Honduras thought I was one because I'm black and spoke Spanish. Yes. Buenos dias. You're welcome, wellness. I don't know if I'm effectively explaining these stories. I think I'm still in an uncomfortable place and I can't seem to find my comfort zone. But I pray that what I'm feeling and what you all are receiving are two different things. Charm goes, as a healer, I saw the selfishness of people. It was part of the reason I stopped seeing patients as a doctor. Really? I lost the desire to do it as a career. Oh my God. I understand what you're saying, Tracy. I never asked you, Charm, because I know you still use your title. And I know you're into holistic healing, but I never really asked you what that was about. Look at you. Hmm. There's something very selfish in wanting to be healed when most people don't realize they unheal themselves, right? Let's talk about that for a minute. People unheal themselves. You really have to question if you want to live, right? If you're constantly eating poorly, and there's enough information out there today where you don't have to do that. Maybe back in the day, if y'all want to eat chitlins, y'all want to eat fried food every day, maybe that was the only education that you had. But today, you don't have to eat certain things anymore. The choices are vast. So if you're acting a certain type of way, do you want to heal? For those of you that never get sleep at night, why? Your anxiety and your stresses doesn't solve the problem by not sleeping. If anything, allowing sleep helps you to think differently. But if you have anxiety, go get some anxiety meds. It, that is great for many, many people. And sleep is your best friend. When I hear somebody say, I get 4 hours of sleep, I pity them because that's not what your body's made for. And if you don't get enough sleep over time, it's a slow death. You're going to give yourself some really bad organ issues. All right. So people want to be healed when the infliction comes, but they caused it. So even if you want to be healed, are you eradicating the part of you that created this? Because technically, you can heal yourself. Technically. But it has to start with a bigger mindset, right? And I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about cancer. I'm talking about skin diseases. I'm talking about everything. There's a technicality where you gave it to yourself. Technically, there are now environmental issues that can give you cancer, those bastards. So I'm not necessarily talking about being in a unnurtured environment and you're around chemical mills that could kill you or they put stuff in the water. That's bullshit. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the simple process of worrying too much, of not sleeping enough, of anxiety, but not taking meds for anxiety, especially if meds can help you, right? The lack of peace that we bring to our bodies will make you sick. And people say to me all the time, your picture, except for my weight, now that I'm looking at my pictures, I think I was overweight most of my life. People will say, you look the same, which I don't. But they go, you look the same when you were in your 30s. And they're shocked. My ex-husband said that. He goes, Tracy, you haven't changed. Right, right. Of course, I don't say that. I go, oh, okay. I don't know if I should say thank you. Because one day we were all in Zoom and I could see him staring at me in a Zoom. And I'm like, oh my God. And I refused to speak to him because I'm like evil, right? And then finally he goes, hey, Tracy. And I go, hey, Chris, how you doing? He goes, I'm fine. And then he goes, couldn't even help himself. And he goes, you look the same. And I was like, oh. I wanted to say, you don't. All right, that's the evil side of me. I didn't say it, but I have learned over the years, no matter what the stresses that come to me, sleep is mandated. Keeping a healthy mind to handle the stress doesn't mean you don't get anxiety. Doesn't mean your body might not respond to some problems that you're having. Exercise is the other key. Exercise, people. Swear for God. If you exercise, you will keep your body young. Swear for God. All right? Let me just read everybody's comments. Also, some people enjoy. Yes. Oh, this is so true. Also, some people enjoy the attention of being fussed over when they are sick. So, on an unconscious level, they really don't want to heal. Right. Be careful who you pray over. Sometimes people don't want to heal. So, when your mama gets sick, your grandmama gets sick, it's at the stage that sickness is authorized. It's at the stage where it's like, I'm so miserable that I invited sickness. Now, people may ask you to pray for them. I would temper that. But if someone asks, especially if it's a family member, of course, pray for them. But many people enjoy sickness. I know my mama did. My mama got so sick and skinny, and I was coming in from California. And when I went to go see her, she was sleeping. And when she woke up, she walked out like a skeleton and she was proud. And she goes, "Look, Tracy, look." I was like, oh my God. One, I knew she was dying. Let's just start there. Two, my mom was hypochondriac. She also had some symptoms of Munchausen. Like she wanted us to be sick with her. Like I just grew up in a very special household of craziness. And so when she walked out, the way she walked out with her arms stretched. Oh my God, walking sideways. And she like presented herself to me looking like a skeleton. And I was mortified. And I was like, oh God, this is it. She finally found something to kill herself with. And I said, okay, God, I'm just going to accept her mental space and her physical body. I just, I just accepted it. It's a weird feeling. And I tell everyone I have a different relationship with death. So it's a weird feeling when you can see death, you know it's going to happen. And all you could do is nurture the space that they are in. Very important. Nurture the space that they are in. Not everybody wants to heal. The attention is what they really want, especially lonely people. Although my mama wasn't lonely, but she sure did love illnesses all our lives. She would take us to the doctor completely healthy and say, we've got things. You know what my mama used to do? She was so crazy. Maybe I shouldn't tell you all this, but she was, I don't even know how I came out as healthy as I did. I really don't. But she used to bend us over and take worms out of us. Nothing was there, ever. And she'd go, see, see? And you would look and you'd be like, no. With tweezers. I mean, I grew up in a weird household. I'm sorry, people. This is no, it was normal for me. She'd be like, oh, bend over. Oh my God, are you kidding me, woman? My mama had real mental illness combined with the gift. She wound up, just a little bit of a backstory on her. She wound up in an insane asylum for 3 months because she saw witches, so she said. Um, and I do believe that she came out with an amazing gift, and no one knew what to do with it because she couldn't keep her mouth shut about the gift. So she would just blah, 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 blah. I see this, I see, oh God. So they put her away. And she couldn't come out until she admitted she didn't see them, but she always saw them. She just started speaking that she didn't see them. All right. Research shows that 3 days of sleep deprivation can induce psychosis. Right. Wow. Wellness says, "Hi, Tom. That is great. We are all over Central America and the Caribbean, but majority of our people were settled in St. Vincent's." Yes. And again, there's just a difference with slaves in Central America, slaves in the Caribbean. It's a little bit of a difference than those born in America in the South, right? But some Caribbeans have religion as their base and then practice at night by the tree, but they wouldn't let Massa know. Hi, Sky. How are you? Interesting. Some people enjoy the tension that illness brings. Yes. Sweets Carmel says, my mom told me she would rather, oh my God, she would rather pass and continue the pain, mental and physical, she was in. She passed a week later after emergency surgery. They brought her back and she passed in recovery. Oh my God, that's heavy. How's your relationship with the way she passed, right? Sweet Carmel, because it sounds to me like your mother wanted to pass, right? So, how's your relationship with how all of that turned out for you, right? Because sometimes we just have to give them our blessings to go. I want to remind everyone this world is heavy, it's a lot. Poor Black women have been through the mill and back again. If you're telling me it's your mama, I can already tell you that generation suffered. Hold on a second, sweet. That generation suffered. They had mean ass husbands. Um, Sometimes the women didn't really support one another, you know, and they grew up in so much physical pain, mental pain. And also, I want to remind you that our pain is stored in our bodies. And if we don't know how to get that pain out of our bodies, child, oh my God, again, we're taking the longevity of our life away. That's why exercising is huge, guys. Huge. Yoga, huge. Pilates, huge. Um, I'm now looking at pain management that is stored in our bodies. Except for my knees, I'm gonna start like taking the pain out of my hips. All right. Um, that stays in our body. Like spirit is showing me what exercises I could do now, right? To take the pain out of my historical pain out of my body. So that's going to be exciting to do. I think I'm going to do it on YouTube, but it involves a lot of it involves, getting on your knees. And oh boy, I just don't have the needs to do that. But I can also do it on my bed. The only reason why I don't want to do it on my bed, these exercises, and videotape it, is because it comes out very sensual, right? Comes out very sensual. And being on the bed could look more sensual than getting someone to understand I'm taking pain out my hips, pain out my shoulders, pain out my back. Oh, I understand that. Sweet Carmel says, at first I was angry she gave up. Later, I felt relief for her. I was able to let her move on because we spoke the night before. Yes, when my mom passed, I said this to her. I said, I know this is suicide. I know it. And I was disappointed at the ending. It took me a long time to recognize how she ended her life didn't matter. She just needed to go home. She had a long life. At least she passed at 72. Didn't have the best family members around her. Didn't feel loved, although she didn't feel loved most of her life. Um, and she just watched the selfishness of her family members, and she was like, "I'm done. I'm out." And so shut up, job. Silliness. I understood spiritually that she had to go, and God does not look at suicide the way we do on the other side. All right. The body keeps the score. Hi, coach. Nice guy who ironically is a coach. One of my coaches is from Honduras and spoke on the Garifuna people and language. Be nice to get a history of the Garifuna people, guys. I would love that. All right. We had a great talk. I like the part when we get to talking. I like that part. I'm not sure if my storytelling is effective. I'm not sure. Um, but it's understood, and I'll accept the fact that something in my storytelling is understood. So thank you guys. I am going to, Charm says, Psychic Tracy's boudoir. I just don't want it to get reinterpreted as like sex. I want it to be healing. Oh my goodness. But a lot of videos are coming to me for healing. And right now I'm cleansing my lymph nodes right now. I do everything to cleanse I store fluid in my lymph nodes, and it's painful. It's so painful. And so thank God YouTube talks to me when I'm having a problem. I know it sounds crazy, but it is what it is. And I finally got a lymph node cleanse that makes sense to me. So I'm going to start using that lymph node cleanse. And I do one part of the exercise on the bed, but I'm still sitting up. So I haven't shared any of that with anyone yet. But even your lymph nodes, you can get cancer by not cleansing your lymph nodes. You can. So, all right, everyone. I'm gonna stop here because my neighbor driving me crazy, Miss Daisy, Marion, needs assistance to go to the store. Learn to be of service to others, people. It'll make sense later. I promise you. All right. I love you guys. I hope I helped with some stories today or conversations today, but I need to get up out of here because Miss Marion is a Leo and she's got a time clock unmeasurable. She doesn't, if she says 12, she means 12. She doesn't mean Tracy time, 12:15. She means 12. So let me get up out of here. I love you guys. Thank you for putting up with today's show. Thank you for all this great talking. All right. Bye, everyone. Love you. And hopefully I can come back later. I want to do a reading on Megan. All right. Love you guys. Take it easy. Bye.
Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Gals and guys, go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live. Go to Tracy Brown Live.